Trent Bray and Oregon State opened up fall camp for themselves yesterday.
They did.
And Trent Bray just being asked, he didn't get a media day, so it's kind of his opening statements of, hey, fall camp is here, it started. What are your takeaways?
It was good. I mean, the energy is good. We're, from a knowledge standpoint, way ahead, I think, than where we were, especially last time this year. And then I think we're building off where we left off in the spring, not starting over, so I'm pleased with that.
He was also asked, last year you didn't really have a conference. Everything kind of got blown up. Here you guys go in. It's a weird season. You're pseudo Mountain West. Now you have an idea of where you're going to be after the season, and he was asked about that, and here's his thoughts.
There's no question. It's definitely more comforting. One, we love our schedule, the strength of our schedule, who we're playing. We're excited about that, but then also knowing our future in the Pac-12 moving forward is exciting for our guys and gives us stability, recruiting, and retaining our own guys.
So Dirty talked about his schedule. He really likes it, and that schedule to start the season is brutal.
First month is tough, man.
You open with Cal, which I think a lot of people are optimistic about that, but Cal is still a Power 4 program, so we'll see what they have to offer at Reser. Then you go to Texas Tech, and then you go to Oregon. And so that urgency and that beginning part of the schedule, real tough. Trent Bray's thoughts on that early part.
It's really the urgency to get it right? Because we don't have a game where we can kind of ease into it, right? We got to be ready first snap when we play because we've got 4 really tough games to start the season. So I think it's a motivator for those guys to get it right and to work to get it where it needs to be by that time.
Yeah, the underrated part, Dirt, about them is the amount of people that are returning mixed with experience at certain positions.
Yeah.
So he kind of, that seemed to be maybe his takeaway and theme is we're not going into camp with as many question marks or people not understanding systems and what we're trying to do. I'm not making it out for the guy. 5-7 is still inexcusable, but year one, you kind of look back, you go, okay, you lost everybody to the portal, you lost the coach, the coaching shakeup, new guys, unproven dudes. This year, there's a little more stability, I think.
More continuity. Yeah, it's huge, both in the roster and in the coaching staff, right? To have a lot of the similar concepts and schematics and things coming into the year. I think also just it's natural, too, for people when you get a job. Like, you get better at it the more that you do it, and you're more comfortable. And I think his head was probably spinning a little bit last year with everything that he was trying to figure out and handle in his first year as head coach. That was a really difficult situation to walk into. Now that he's going into year 2, he seems a little more comfortable in his own skin, and he's not wrong. Like, as a whole, the schedule's not great. In the back end of it, it's laughable, and you don't really play anybody for the last 2 months of the year, and you got to play the same team twice, which isn't great. The first month of the season is fascinating for Oregon State. We can feel confident about Cal, but I think the beauty of college football, where it's at now, is every year teams are an unknown. Like, Cal can lose guys to the portal, and you can say, well, how are you going to replace Ott, and how are you going to replace Mendoza? That's the beauty of the portal, man. They go grab 2 other guys. I had never heard of Francisco Mendoza when he came out 2 years ago. I didn't know a lot about Ott when he was coming out, but you go find another guy that's a diamond in the rough from another school that's ready to go pop. Like, I have no clue what Cal is going to look like, and so it's an ultimate question mark game figuring out what both teams appear to be, and also Oregon State's in a really tough spot because the back end of their schedule is easy. But this is the kind of year where you'd love to have one of those games against fill-in-the-blank beatable team where you know you're going to win by 40. Let's work on some stuff. Let's get the kinks out a little bit, and then we go into the hard part. And Bray's credit, they don't have that benefit, man. You've got 1 month to get ready to go because you're getting shot out of a cannon. You got to go play Cal right out of the gate, and then it doesn't get easier from there.
You could quiz me on Cal all day. I wouldn't answer any questions. I just remembered this is going to potentially be their quarterback.
Jaron Sagapotule.
Yeah, very well. I don't know if he's going to win the job or not, but I know he's down there, and he was a highly touted recruit.
Was he a 5-star?
He was a 5-star recruit.
So I'd imagine if I'm Wilcox, year 8, my record's not over 500. I'm starting the 5-star kid and saying, hey, man, what do you want? He's year 1. He's 5-star kid.
Do the DJ Lagway. How about you save my job?
I want to play another cut from Bray because now he's going to be double dipping the duties here. He's going to be the defensive coordinator and the head coach.
Yes.
Focus on the task at hand.
He also talked about their new quarterback, Malik Murphy, who had a good year at Duke last year, surprised people by picking Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about how he's kind of already a leader in that locker room.
Really all summer. He's just got great leadership skills. He's vocal. Guys like him. He gets along with everyone on the team. He does the work. He's not afraid to work either. So I think he's got great leadership, not only from a vocal standpoint, but from a visual standpoint. They can see him doing it.
So I asked this question for the break. I can already hear one fan base like screaming at their car radio or calling me the biggest dum-dum of all time. Who is going to have the better quarterback play this year? Is it going to be the guy in Corvallis, Malik Murphy, or is it going to be I assume Dante Moore, but maybe Third Eye Sprague will be right, and it's Austin Novosad. Who will have better quarterback play from their starter this season?
You know, what's interesting is I think it depends on how do you define, but is it just numbers?
I don't think it has to be limited to numbers. I think
because that's where that's where there's nuance in this debate.
Yeah.
I think you can make an argument there's a chance that Malik Murphy has a better year, but maybe his numbers aren't where the Oregon quarterbacks are because he doesn't have the level of talent around him that Oregon has, and he's not good. Their offense probably will not put up as many points as Oregon's did, and he won't be as balanced and all of that. But based on if he has a good year with a decent wide receiver room, not great, like Clemens came on late, Walker's a good piece, like they have nice things to work with. They don't necessarily have game changers, I would argue, on the outside or at running back. And so if he ends up having a good year and Oregon State wins 9 games, you can make an argument at the end of the year that he had a better year at quarterback than the Oregon guy did, even if the Oregon quarterback has better numbers than him.
I think your point on the stats is a good one because there's a real scenario with the Will Stein offense. They're dropping 49 points.
I mean, it's just who they've been. That's what they do.
Like Dante Moore has a little check down.
We're going to do the check down Charlie thing
no.
this year. We probably will.
I'm saying in a game like that, you check down to the Tulane kid who pops it for 50.
Right, throw a screen to DeCorian Moore and he takes it for 50 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the offense is kind of designed as, and he scored 49 points, and Dante Moore with 3 touchdowns. You're like, holy crap. But I think there's also a thing, to your point on the stats, where you just watch them both, whoever it may be in Oregon, I'm assuming Moore, and you go, I feel like that guy is in a little more command of things in Corvallis, but his numbers might not match the guy in Eugene.
I mean, he has more success coming into this year than either. I mean, Novus has never played outside of garbage time, and Dante Moore played, and I'm not going to throw out his entire career because of a bad true freshman season at UCLA with not a lot of help around him.
Agree.
But Malik Murphy has a year where he was a good quarterback. It's interesting for him. He only had 2 300-yard games last year, so that's something that I'm sure that he would love to build on. One of them came against Miami, and I remember when they let it slip late. He threw 3 picks in that game, and that's a big talking point for me about Malik Murphy. I think 2 things. One, he's not as good of an athlete as you would think. You think about the guy when he came into Texas and he played a little bit his first year there, sparingly, I think, in a reserve role. I can't remember if Quinn Ewers was hurt, but he had that vibe of like, I'm going to run around and make plays. Basically sacks was his only rushing yardage. He was minus 79
more of a
on
big
the year.
Stiffy.
He's a 6'5", 230-pound guy. Yeah. He's got a pretty strong arm. He's got to figure out how to cut down on turnovers because the turnovers piled up on him, especially in games that they had a chance to win last year at Duke. He survived a couple of them. They beat Virginia Tech, and he threw 3 picks in the game. That's the biggest thing that he's got to clean up this year.
He was asked about that, cutting down on the turnovers, Malik Murphy, after day 1 of camp.
Yeah, I just got to mature, honestly. That was my first year kind of starting as a full-time quarterback in college. So, I think it was huge. It was a big stepping stone for me to kind of get those games under my belt. So now going into this season, I could kind of not know what to expect, but I have a pretty good feel for the game. You know what I'm saying? I could be more efficient, and I'm able to watch myself and see what I did on tape that I could improve on and be better this upcoming season.
I think that's the area where him and Dante are kind of the same. Like, he started more games than Dante did at UCLA, but Dante pick sixes.
A lot of turnovers, yeah.
Like, I think that's we should be saying Malik cut down the turnovers, but he's also acknowledging it's my first year starting.
Yes.
So if we're going to question Malik Murphy, we should be questioning. They're kind of the same thing. They're going in kind of unknowns in some ways. Just Malik has more starting experience from Duke and what they did over there for the Blue Devils. So interesting day 1. Some takeaways from Oregon State fall camp as it rolls on. It's eventually going to get to the point where we don't talk about fall camp because unless there's an injury
or we name a starter at a certain position or a battle or whatever.
It just becomes Dan Lanning being annoyed that he has to talk to anybody because there's nothing he's going to tell them that's going to be of substance.
No, there was not a lot from Dan Lanning's press conference yesterday.
No, there wasn't. But fall camp is here and it's ready to go.